Merry Christmas! Espresso martini. It's Christmas Eve! I love Christmas Eve. My favourite day of the year, bar none. And actually, now I'm getting older, I think it's coming round more and more quickly. Must have been about 4 months since I put my Christmas tree away from the last one. So, bonuses. Yeah. So that's hellishly itchy. So, why have I made this video other than to wish you folk a very Merry Christmas and an exceptionally Happy New Year? Well, it's because I am working on a little Christmas project. If you've been watching my other videos, you might know that I've got a German Grenadiers box from Warlord and a couple of tanks. So that's been in the pipeline for a little while, and I've decided that now is the time that I'm going to try and put them together and turn them into some kind of a force. I'm going to try and paint as much of it as I can over the next week, depending on how my 2-year-old daughter lets me have spare time on it, and see what I can come up with. So I thought I'd put a little video together where I run through my thinking on the list, try and explain what the list is going to do, why I've put the stuff in that I have, and then over the next week or two, if I'm being honest, it's probably going to be the next month or two, I will track how the army's coming along. And actually, it's got a tiger in it, and I did promise in the first video that I would do a tiger painting tutorial, so that will come soon. Okay, so if I've worked out the technology, there'll now be a lovely screenshot on the screen for you, which shows you the list. If I've worked out the technology, if not, I'll sort something else out on the screen so you can see exactly what I've put in. So the first stuff is I have a first lieutenant or lieutenant, Oberleutnant, one of those ranks. Oh dear, you just thought I'd look that up first, wouldn't you? Anyway, so I have him in there. I like the idea with the Germans that they get that extra snap 2 ability. And I think that can be quite powerful. It's probably quite situational, but I reckon if you're in a situation where you really could benefit from pinning that unit or even wiping that unit out, and you can get sort of 3 units all firing on it, I think that could be pretty huge. So that's what I'm thinking with that. He's got to be sat there ready to just unleash hell all at once, or even, I guess, reposition a bunch of units ready for either getting up trouble or even ready to launch an attack in the next turn, something like that. It just adds a bit of tactical flexibility, I think, which should be pretty fun. Then I've got a couple of units of Osttruppen. Why have I got Osttruppen? I mean, they're awful. They're shirkers, and that is the shirkers special rule. I'm not denigrating men who served. They've been given the shirker special rule. They're 21 points for 4 men with a Panzerfaust. And I'm thinking I might just strip the Panzerfaust out and have them as 16 points. The only reason they're there is to be dice in the bag, because this is a small elite force and I really need those dice. They can just sit at the back on an objective, just going down the entire game and just being there, really. They're not expected to achieve anything, but for 32 points for 2 units, or with the Panzerfaust, it really doesn't make sense to have the Panzerfaust in there, tactically speaking, I don't think, but they look really cool, so I've put them in. If an enemy vehicle comes near, there's a threat, really. I'm thinking if a transport wants to come on around the back, these guys are sat there, there's at least the threat of that transport being blown to smithereens, and it might make my opponent think twice about doing it. That's the only reason they're there, as I say. Cheap dice, sit on an objective, and just hold the backfield. And that is their sole reason for existence. So what else have I got on the list? I've got 2 big blobs of Fallschirmjäger. They've got a few assault rifles in there, quite a lot actually. I might pair them back, because if I'm honest, I'm not sure how good assault rifles are. I'm a big fan of riflemen. I mean, I have a British army, and so maybe I just have an overinflated idea of what riflemen can do. But I do really value them, and I'm not sure how good the German units with all their SMGs and assault rifles are in terms of the points you pay for them. So I've gone with 2 units of Fallschirmjäger in enough numbers that they've got a few ablative wounds. Their job is to run up, seize objectives, get close up in the enemy's face, blow them all to hell, and assault them. Really, some stubborn veterans who are going to just keep going up that table to achieve the objectives I need. I mean, that should be pretty valuable. And if they're in defense, I mean, they're going to be really difficult to shift. Killing them on 5s. If they're in cover, then they're going to be even harder to hit, and their morale value is good enough that they're not really going to be going anywhere. So they're going to be my linchpin units, I think. There is then a normal Heer unit, I think Volksgrenadier unit, and their job is to just really be another big blob who can run, take perhaps an uncontested objective and go down on it, and they've got enough wounds that they should be able to hold that for a while. If I need to defend, they can again provide those bodies to create a line, and really their job is to sort of facilitate the Fallschirmjäger and just allow them to do what they need to without too much interference from other enemies is the thinking anyway. I've got a mortar team, a medium mortar, because why wouldn't you take a mortar? I think they're just a must-have. The idea that you've got, I mean, I've also put a spotter in there as well, because the indirect fire aspect of the mortar is so valuable. I think it's so valuable. And if you've got an enemy team who want to sit there raining fire upon you from a hidden position, you've got an anti-tank team, just start lobbing mortar shells. 2 or 3 turns in, when you've zeroed in on them, you're going to hit them, statistically speaking, 3-4 turns. And you are really going to make your opponent start second guessing and thinking that he might have to move that team. And the reason that's valuable, if it's an anti-tank gun, is because I also have a Tiger. That's right, Tiger tank. This is the sole reason that I have a German army. I just wanted to have a Tiger, because who doesn't love a Tiger in all its stupid, oversized glory? If you watch all the experts, people like Chieftain, David Willey from the Tank Museum, anyone at the Tank Museum actually, they will all tell you that Tiger was a stupid idea. All the big German tanks were just a terrible idea. But who doesn't love them? They're just incredible. As far as just machines go, wow. So there is a Tiger in there, and that is going to be the big scary thing that's going to intimidate my opponent, and I'm going to try and just be really aggressive with it. I think if you sit and you wait until maybe all your opponent's stuff is gone, or as much of it as possible, so that pardon me. Oh, I've still got some horrible cold remnants. It's the benefit of having a child in nursery. They come home with all the lovely germs for you for free. Anyway, what was I saying? The Tiger. Yeah. I think if you wait until your opponent's been a few times, so his units can't react, and then you turn the super heavy gun on them, that's going to do some damage. Or even it's got 2 MGs. I mean, with Hitler's Buzzsaw, that's 10 machine gun shots. That's also going to mess up a unit. So I think the Tiger is going to be a brutal bully in this list. And I think that in conjunction with the 2 Fallschirmjäger units, that's really going to give my opponent something to think about and hopefully carry me to victory. I don't know how good this list is. I think, to be honest, it's mainly there because I wanted a Tiger. I really like Fallschirmjäger. I think they look awesome on the table with all their camo and what have you. And I just wanted a fun list. So let me know what you think about my list. Please put a comment down below telling me if you think it's any good, where it's rubbish, where I could improve it, if you think I've got a snowball's hell in chance of winning with it. And also, if you could like and subscribe, that'd also be much appreciated on this Christmas Eve. So once again, a very Merry Christmas to you and yours. I hope that you have a wonderful week, and I hope that your new year is filled with plastic crack and all the goodies that wargamers would want. Merry Christmas.